Very
Jean-Marc
good.
Pontroué, CEO of Panerai, dear friend, how are you, sir?
Very good. Very good. Nice to see you again because we have been very often in touch despite all the COVID the last couple of months. And it's always a pleasure to see that, first of all, you are healthy, in great shape in Singapore, where I know the situation is very much under control.
I have, since Singapore is open, I have the opportunity to go by your boutique in Ion from time to time. And every time I go by there, there's people in there and it's buzzing, right? And I was talking to some of the retailers and they said one of the major success stories of last year was Panerai. People can't get enough of Panerai and also the modern Panerai as well. So like references such as that beautiful blue dial Luminor Marina, such as the Carbotech Luminor Marina and Submersible, which you've created as well. I think it's great. I think you've kind of connected with an all new generation. It seems like this was always your strategy, and it seems to be working. Is that correct, sir?
Well, the beauty, first, nothing can please me more than having one of the retailer in Singapore in such a highly competitive market telling you, whether that we had to pay him, that Panerai is one of the hot brands these days in your country. It's a great feedback because it testifies that the brand is on the right track, as it has been very often since the brand has been retaken by Richemont in 1997. The beauty of last year was our focus on Luminor, which is, as you know, the signature, the emblem of the brand. And we have created some models like as you say, the blue dial, the white dial, the Carbotech, which are all part of our bestsellers today. And since we probably had planning which was conservative when we launched it because of the COVID, because of God knows what. In fact, the demand has been much higher than expected, and I'm happy that it has contributed to make the brand as it is today, which is one of the looked after brand. And I'm happy for all the communities of Panerai around the world that our brand is good these days.
One of the things I really respect about the modern generation, and especially the millennials and Generation Z, is that for them, ethics is a really important thing. The underlying ethics of any company, right? And there was a good quote that I remember reading that when you make a purchase today, you're making a declaration of the world that you want to live in, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that following that, you are one of the very first luxury watch brands to create a watch out of recycled steel. It's very exciting. It's the E-Steel watch across 3 different dial variations, blue, gray, and green, which is limited to the boutiques. Tell us about the idea for this, Jean-Marc. How did you get this idea?
Well, the story is all behind all our planning with the all the ecological friendly initiatives that the brand has taken. It's around its building, it's around its packaging, and now it's about its products. And the idea came from my friend, Mike Horn, who 3 years ago gave me part of his boat, Pangea, a part of his shaft. It was a piece of metal, which he gave me and say, well, listen, either I put that in the garbage because this shaft has done 17 tours of the world and I have to replace it. And it's one of the best steel you can imagine because it's super resistant and so on. So I was thinking perhaps you can do watches out of that. I was finding the idea very weird, and I had no intention to do any watches with that. But I gave, however, that to our manufacturer in Neuchâtel, and they told me, of course, we can try. And we brought 5 tourbillons out of this material. And it brought us the idea that what Mike was always telling me, that he was used to travel in areas where nobody of us will ever go. And he was seeing the devastation of the pollution, even in very, very remote areas of the world. And I strongly believe that Panerai, who has always got oceans as a playground, as a natural playground, it was our mission to also contribute at our level to be part of the cleaning activities that the world has anyway to take. And the result today is one E-Lab ID, limited, which is close to 100% of recyclability, which requires a lot of network of new suppliers to be part of this project. And we have developed a side project, which is highlighting our emblematic model, the Marina 44 millimeter, and which allow in 3 different models to give this type of dials, and some of them have never been brought, like this military green, which is very dark at 6 and gets lighter as long as you go up to the 12, and which is the signature of this E-Steel collection.
That's stunning. Absolutely love it. So if I'm not mistaken, 58.4% of the watch is made from recycled steel. So am I correct that the case is made
Yeah,
from recycled steel and the dial as well is
the
made from
dial, the case, the strap, the packaging are all elements. So on, we have tried to create an indicator, because when you are new in an industry, you have to create your own indicator in Swiss franc, in Singapore dollars, in weight, in centimeters, in whatsoever. So here we decided that the weight was the indicator. So this model has close to 60% of the weight of the product made out of recycled materials. And it's a new approach of doing our products. And in the future, I can tell you that all the Panerai models will have a certain share of recycled materials within their models.
That's incredible. One of my friends is the creative director of Xenia, right? Alessandro
Mm-hmm.
Sapori. And he was telling me basically that they are starting to invest in technology to recycle wool. But the thing is that what people don't realize, actually, the recycling process of wool is actually more, you create a product that's more expensive than the
For sure.
initial product, but you consume much less. And that's the whole idea, is that you're investing now for the future. Clearly you must believe also that as human beings, we need to consume less and consume in a more ethical way.
Yeah, it's not a trend. It's not on our program we start today with Panerai is not something which is a marketing tool for 2021. It will pave the future of the brand on I believe in the rest of the industry. The watch industry has been only starting to think about this type of eco-friendly initiatives only recently. But if you see the car industry, if you see the telecom industry, if you see many other industries, the fashion industry has started since many years. We also work a lot with our friends at Prada, and it can be that we unveil a certain number of initiatives also around this cleaning activities or recycling activities. We are very influenced these days in our new ideas by other industries. And we have to create in Switzerland this eco-friendly business model inspired by other industries.
Fantastic. So let's go from oh yeah. It's a great looking watch also. I love the fact that from a design perspective, it's great. It's 44 mm, it's the icon, it's the Luminor Marina.
And you see the crown, which has this rubber,
Yes.
this colorful rubber,
Yes.
which is the light signature of this program. And you have the signature on the safety lock, which is written E-Steel. And I think it's one of the very first time we are signing this program on this level.
Amazing. Yeah, I've always loved mechanical watchmaking because by nature it's an ethical product, right? It only consumes the energy that you give to it by wearing it. And it endures forever. But now you've made it, one step further by actually consuming less and recycling the existing material on this planet. So bravo, Jean-Marc. Let me ask you next about an icon, right? So it's the watch that I'm wearing on my wrist. So I have got the original Bronzo on my wrist.
Wow. Keep it preciously. It takes value every day.
Yeah, indeed, sir. So this watch is 47 mm in diameter, and it's a big, powerful watch, and I love it, right? But I have noticed actually one of the sizes that I love the most that you're creating is the 42 mm submersible, and it is not only just a watch that fits a wider variety of wrists, but it's just great in that size, which is very interesting because sometimes when you just take something that is initially created in one size and you try to make it either smaller or larger, it doesn't work. But the submersible at 42 is phenomenal. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to get the first bronze version of the 42 mm submersible. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, it is. It is true. We had opened the segment of the 42 a couple of years ago on the submersible. And that submersible was our major theme in 2019. And we had a great success with that. You remember we had this edition only for e-commerce, which has been sold in a couple of days, and so on and so on. So the 42 millimeter segment was invested by Panerai since now a couple of years. And we got, in all our discussions we were having with the different Panerai communities, many demand that the 47, and I am a fan of the 47 like you are. I wear my Bronzo today, by the way. And at the same time, we had many people telling us we would love to have a different size. And that's why we are coming this time for the very first time with a Bronzo program with the 42 millimeter model.
1,000 watches made per year, am I correct, sir?
We will continue to keep the Bronzo program, so meaning that model, the 47, on this one, but always not having more than 1,000 units with the two programs combined. So it's not that we do 1,000 here and 1,000 on the 42, but the two programs will not exceed 1,000 units.
Wow, you're gonna have a lot of people asking you for papers.
Yes, I already have a list of couple of people who love to acquire it, but I am never replying yes to this type of question.
It's phenomenal. And I would like to remind everyone also that even though bronze now is a very popular material in the watch industry, it was Panerai that was the very first one to make a luxury watch in bronze. So there is no better continuity to this story than to see this icon now made in a smaller size and with this emblematic material.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a story that my predecessor, Angelo Bonatti, has developed, has re-highlighted. And this guy was a big fan of our existing boat at Panerai named Aileen, and it's a vintage yacht, if you probably remember. And you have a lot of Bronzo materials on this boat, which was always Bronzo and material used in the vintage boat. And he was saying one day, why we don't launch something which has a link to Aileen. And this is how the whole story has started, with a success, you know.
Incredible. Yeah, I always like the story that Aileen was the boat that was used in the Duran Duran video, Rio.
Yes, and you can still see it today. It's viewed by millions of people, but they have used this boat as for their clip. Yes.
Very, very cool. Well, also, you know, maybe the last thing is I want to mention that it seems like you're doing very well with the Linea Rossa and that your association with Prada for the Prada Cup. So bravo. And the watches coming out of there are very cool.
Yeah, well, it's a story we follow every day at 4 a.m. Because you have a lot of fans in Italy, or a lot of fans of this type of racing, which are following the final races. So we are betting that Luna Rossa will be the victory boat, and we will learn more tomorrow for the next race.
Amazing. Jean-Marc, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it, and I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Wei.
And I hope
Thank you, Wei.
Together soon.
I hope to be able to come in Singapore very soon, or to welcome you in one of your favorite countries in the world you know so well, which is Switzerland.
Or let me welcome you in the Maldives, where we have our first shop.
That will be good. That will be good. Yes. As I've told you, I will be ready to come 15 days to see your facility in the Maldives.
Fantastic. I want to introduce you quickly to someone.
Oh, this is so cute. Oh my God, he is so cute.
My new dog, Bandit.
Oh, that's your télétravail friend.
Exactly.
Well, enjoy. Thank you so much.